Our next speaker is Anatol Kisil, VP of Product at Reply.io.
So the first one is AI sales assistant. The next one is personalized icebreakers. PLG platforms or PLG CRMs, it's a big thing. Probably most of you used it in your daily job. It's voice recording. The last one in my part of the presentation will be conversational intelligence.
And our next speaker is ready to join us. He's actually our own Anatol Kisil, VP of Product at Reply.io, will talk to us about what to expect next in sales development. Quick intro of Anatol. So Anatol has more than 10 years of experience in the field, and he's on the journey to build great SaaS businesses and products to help entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders better understand the future in order to shape it with the ideas and products. Hi, Anatol. How are you?
Hi, Alex. Thanks for intro. I was really blown away by the ladies in previous panel, so try not to get emotional before my speech. But anyway, so let's have a little bit of change of pace and talk about tech, what we care about in tech, what will be the next, what we at Reply feel like will be the trends and the cool tech there are teams need to either adopt or try out if they're still not did this year in 2023. So let's jump in straight in. So we feel like abundance of AI tech that right now trying to kind of get into the market already, helping and trying to shape what engagement and what outreach looks like. And the first of them is AI sales assistants. So especially the ML ones. So we at Reply take a lot of time and a lot of pride of building stuff around NLP models, helping creating great copy, etc. But the market in overall, it's starting to get in more and more and more in understanding that you can do great copy on your own, but you also could need a little bit of help. So especially if you're a junior person, or for example, you kind of need an inspiration, you can use something like Trial Vendor, like Semantic to really build a copy that would work. Or for example, a copy that, let's say, emphasize some parts of the text, or in the next one, we will talk a little bit about subject lines. So this stuff will enhance ability of the teams to create a great copy, first mail copy, and getting forward, we feel like multiple other channels would be also beneficial from tech like this. For example, it could be applied to LinkedIn copy as well. So the first one is AI sales assistant. The next one, again, building up on the same trait, is personalized icebreakers. So we right now all flowing in data. So we have a lot of signals about our prospects, about our customers, what they're doing, where they're doing. To be able to act on it is became more and more beneficial, and also more and more kind of de facto standard you will need to incorporate in your outreach or engagement strategy. So let's say if you have a piece of data, or you have a let's say icebreaker generator like CopyEye, Wormer, etc., they would help you quickly generate some icebreaker or some this catchy subject line that give you ability to take an attention. Yes, it's definitely only part of the picture, so you will need your multi-touch, you will need your strategy, but you would also be able to maybe stand out, or just to get an idea you would incorporate, let's say, in your outreach and engagement. So the next one is personalized icebreakers. Also continue this AI trend. What we feel is getting more and more involved in a lot of systems on the market. It's kind of collaboration between tech and human. And this is not a new theme. This team of automation is essentially on the whole new area of sales engagement and CRM. Before that, they were built, or sales automation They were built on the premise of automated stuff. But right now, it's because of rise of the tech, it's become more and more common that there is this back and forth kind of like conversation between tech and human, and together, especially engagement and outreach, then this became more and more beneficial. And coming from this to the next step, for example, the new tech arose of AI assisted or AI generated like sequences or cadences. So how this would work. So for example, you have an idea, okay, I need to warm up my leads before I went. Or for example, I have warm leads on my website and they will be going into my engagement platform. They will come into a sequence or a cadence. And then the question is, how quickly I can create multiple variants of this sequence. How can I generate multiple options to test them out? You can sit and spend a lot of time with previous tools to get your copy, for example, to get your steps right, to get your strategy right, to get your playbook right, and so on. But you also can do a different approach. And different approach will be, you just type in what you want to convey. Let's say I want to warm up my leads or invite my leads to the event. And then Genie AI or Calendar will generate first step ML for you and also generate follow-up for you. And it could be both email, it could be both LinkedIn, it could be different types of channels. And then you take a look at this and it takes like minutes. You take a look and you decide, do you like it or not? If you like it, you can proceed. If not, you can tweak, you can change. But this is just the first step. The next step is essentially the profile or persona you would target. And you would just say, for example, hey, I want operation guys from the East Coast. And after that, you will just like hit the button and the sequence will be generated and populated with a perspective, with the prospects, with all of the steps, with the text, and then you take a look at this and see, okay, this can work for me. This is one idea. And then you can do this once again and generate second idea. And it would take so much less time than if you do and craft this manually. So instead, let's say creating 3 sequences in 2 hours, you can do the same stuff like in 20 minutes. And then you can change them and go. That's one of the ways how all of these pieces of tech, like targeting specific persona, generating text, playing with subject lines, coming together to create a situation where AI helps you, then you review, make decision on your own, and kind of launch it into the market. So the number 3 is AI-assisted or AI-generated sequences or cadences. Another one we feel already essentially overtake the market is no-code tools and revenue operation tools. So most of you, I'm assume, knew what Zapier is, use it on a daily basis. Maybe some use rows, maybe some use Airtable to stitch together different flows. And also in many organization, operation guys already like crucial part of the go-to-market team. Without them essentially executing on like tech-heavy go-to-market strategies or product-led go-to-market strategies became like more and more difficult task. But also sales development personnel has to like keep in touch with them, understand what they can do, how they can help, and vice versa. But also became like more tech savvy to be able to do some of this stuff on their own, kind of to become like more like when you sit at the cockpit and change stuff and see what works and what's not. That's where no code and like revenue operation tools, they really excel. And most of us right now not using one system. Most of us using both organization and we as a professional in sales area, we use multiple ones, 2, 3, 4, 5. We stitch them together to get the best result, to get this like personalized line, or to get this present, for example, for someone get at the door using Sendoso or something like that. So this is became overwhelmingly important. So in 2023, we feel this only will grow, and you would need to be able to incorporate this in your team if you still didn't do this. And the next one, kudos to Correlated. Already, we hear from them over here, but product-led growth became de facto standard for a number of markets. And understanding the differences, understanding how to engage, how to nurture product qualified leads. We see like marketing qualified leads, or we see like strict outbound. This again became like a new trend in the market, where you would see like organization try to make the streamlines flow where leads can come from everywhere. They can be generated by sales development department using outreach. They can go through a website. They can go through registration. They can go through any kind of channel, and they would need a score targeted, etc., etc., etc. So PLG platforms or PLG CRMs is a big thing. Like, it's still in infancy at the one side, but it also would grow more and will be probably incorporated together with the other tools in organization ecosystem to really deliver. So that product-led growth and product-led like CRMs or platforms, they will be big in 2023. Another one we believe kind of shaping workplace, both for organizations who need to make engagement or outreach, and for sales development representatives, for sales development and sales personnel, it's cloud departments. So in a way, this trend already overtook engineering on development areas and design a couple of years ago, when you can go and like out stuff grab from the market, like very high level professional development team or even design team, and like make the stuff happen really quickly. We see spending time, money, nerves, and you in some cases cannot have like proper people for hiring. The same happens with cloud departments, and it also provide flexibility for sales development personnel, where they can work, for example, with 2 or 3 very interesting projects, very interesting people, help them outreach, and at the same time, organization can get the personnel quickly. They can get the results quickly. They can test stuff, for example, if they're still not incorporated, let's say, outbound strategy, they can test out, would it work for them with the professionals who know what they're doing and already has experience delivering results for many companies in the past. And if it works, then they can decide, then can scale and hire more people or more teams, or they can build out this sales development or outreach function inside of the organization. So the cloud departments is providing this flexibility in the workplace, in a market when you can decide how you want to execute or test your GTM strategy before you commit to it, or just like for smaller companies, it could be like the way of the future, because there's a lot of agencies already who deliver like great results for their customers. The one that already mainstream, and probably most of you used it in your daily job, it's voice recording and note taking. But what's important for the next year, it became like truly mainstream, but it also, the tech of this is the next one that we'll talk about. It's trickled down from like enterprise and mid-market level to essentially SMB and everyone in the market. So everyone understand that you need to enable your personnel. Everyone understand you need to teach your reps to efficiently talk to your prospective customers. For this, you need to have this conversation recorded. For this, you need to transcribe for them. You need notes on key points. You need intent detection. So you need to truly understand how this conversation goes, in which direction. And that's where like voice recording and note taking is so crucial, because it both helps you track the results, but also later on teach your personnel on this. And like the last one in my part of the presentation will be conversational intelligence. So this was a difference maker even 2-3 years ago. Right now, again, as with recording note taking, we feel it start to trickle down lower in the market, and the beneficial like benefits of understanding what tones work, benefits of stopping at the point and talking between SDR leader and SDR rep on what's going right or wrong in specific part of the conversation. To be able to learn on this and improve in future, it's really like indispensable. The Gong Clary, they're kind of like number 1, 2 in the market, but there is a lot of other tools that can help you do this. So this kind of overview of the like cool tech that we see in 2023 can help your team grow, or also you can try it out and see if it make a difference for you. There's many others. For example, there are some controversial ones like deepfakes generation for video, etc. We feel they're not ready yet for the like even early adoption, but people try them. So again, like what I would encourage you, like try new tech. Maybe it would work for you, maybe not. But once you playing with new tech, you start getting ideas and opportunities how you can incorporate this in your playbook, and then you start and change. And like change make, for example, a difference before. Because if someone in your market not adopting new tech, someone else does. And as a result, the market and your competition and your prospective customers, they start feeling the change. So the new tech, the new progress, it's also great to play with this, but it's also great to incorporate in your processes and essentially take a look if it worked for you. So that's pretty much all from me. I'm ready to answer questions. Vlad?
Great presentation, Anatol. Love these trends, and we had some great questions in the chat. And I guess the only one, how would you? Let me see it. How would you talk with the management to convince them to utilize AI tools?
Oh, okay. That's actually a great question, because like we have the same challenges inside of Reply as well, despite building them. So the question is, do they deliver results? Because any new tech, any new tool, there's like some hesitation to use it. So if you can provide a proof of results, for example, you save, let's say, hour or 2 hours per sequencing when you create them, and the result the same or even better. Or, for example, if you create personalized icebreakers and they like really improve your reply rates, this is very easy to show the difference. Yeah, it could be tough to go through the all like ins and outs in your organization, approval, especially compliance and so on. But if the results are there, it's became like easy consideration, at least to look at this new tech. Right?
Thanks, Anatol. Thanks for the presentation, and see you soon.
Okay, so thank you, everyone, and have a great day. Bye.
Okay.